don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Yeah, you know I'm back like black tracksuit with a black top cap. People love to try, people love to lie. People forget, stop, remember that. We done them good, you remember that. We needed someone, here's the facts. But people love to try, people love to lie. Yeah, this is London, mind the gap. Living life just multitasking. Smile like a horror movie, I'm laughing. Motivated and focused, crafting. Dash something and I break all your eggs in a basket. Can't handle it, why you asking? Can't handle it, why you asking? Can't handle it, why you asking? Please don't try it. Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Yeah, you know I'm right. Vibes are here when I am outside. Born for the flows to keep the flows tight. Tell me why they love to lie. Soul is dark but the mind is bright. Nocturnal, we live for the night. You wanna try but yeah, not quite. Monster with the bars, yeah, I might bite. If I have to, I tighten up the mic. See me, I don't do it for the likes. Keep it Air Max, yeah, like my knives. Ooh, I like to plan before I strike. But what do they know? Frequency's high, it never gets low. But yeah, what do they know? You're dripping in drama from head to toe. Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always?
Pages there, these are her grandchildren behind her and one of her nephews, so a big moment for them. And then the king will have a separate set of pages which will include Prince George. And when they leave, they'll but they're having a bit of discussion here. I am wondering where the Prince and Princess of Wales are, because they were due to arrive before the King and Queen, but maybe they took a different entrance.
Guys, can you believe that we survived the coronation, the clowning? I still can't believe it. We managed to get over the hump of the clownation. Feels like only yesterday. Anywho, just wanted to start the podcast off with a laugh. Happy Sunday, everyone. Hope you are having a great day, a great weekend. And yeah, I have opened up the lines today. We're going to do some call-ins because I realized that I haven't done some call-ins for a while, actually. So I can see Valerie and Rahini and Mina already in the chat. Thank you so much. And we will definitely do some call-ins. There's not a whole lot to say today, so I thought it would be great to just have you up. I got busy with the Barbie meme maker. If you haven't already tried this, it's absolutely awesome. I did a Barbie royal reporter. There's me. I need to, do you know what? That hair, that blonde hair, I need to find it. It's actually quite hard. Oh, can everyone hear me? You can hear me, right? Something just happened with my mic. You can hear me, right? Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, that particular blonde hair, it's so hard to find like outside the UK. I need to like order it in or something and get that done again. I also made a Ken Harry in the British tabloids and Barbie Meghan being a badass Duchess, humanitarian and entrepreneur. They need to give her a Barbie doll. And Harry needs to get a Ken as well. Like a really beautiful collectible. I don't know who made this. I think it's like AI generated. Oh, do we have a new member? Thank you so much to Trina. Is it Hodges for becoming a new member. Thank you so much. Links are always in the description box if you would like to become a member or donate. Much appreciated. Right, just to go through a couple of things before we get to it. Oh, yes. First of all, before we get to royal stuff, my Lisbon travel guide. I finally finished it. I went to Lisbon in January. I left in January, February, May. It's taken me absolutely forever, but I wanted it to be perfect. So if you're thinking of traveling to Lisbon and you want the ultimate guide, there is my. I'll put the link in the bio. There is my Lisbon travel guide. I've made it as detailed as possible. This is great for tourists staying for a short time, nomads, also staying maybe for a couple of months. And if you're thinking of perhaps becoming an expat, it just gives you an overview of everything, pros and cons of going there. I did a list of 50 different things for you to do and see, all the best places to eat, all the best trips, what to wear, what time of the year to go, everything. So if you want the ultimate guide to Lisbon, I spent a total of maybe 4.5 months there over the last couple of years. There it is. And you can buy that from my website. Links in the bio. Right. Okay, travel plug over. Let's get to it. People are turning down GB News. Great news. So this is a Mr. Henry Monk. He had written some article in the Independent about a restaurant, and GB News sent him a request for an interview. They said, "Dear Hugh, Henry Monk here from GB News. Hope you are well." Also, no, sorry, no, it's they sent it to a guy called Hugh. It was Henry Monk sending the email. So he said, "I hope you're well. I am the senior producer of the Weekend Breakfast Show with presenters Stefan Dixon and Anne Diamond. I was wondering if you would be happy to come on the breakfast to talk about this article." And Hugh responded by saying, "Thank you for your email. I would never consider appearing on GB News. To be clear as to why, I am appalled that Dan Wootton is still on air despite the extensive evidence of potential wrongdoing currently in the public domain. And your channel provides a platform for Neil Oliver's dangerous climate disinformation, among other topics, which is totally against my values and beliefs. I would actively harm my reputation to appear on your channel and be associated with its presenters. And I consider GB News to be a force for harm, so I decline. Best wishes, Hugh." A freaking men. And he actually posted this on Instagram, which is where, sorry, not on Instagram, on Twitter, which is where I got this from. And this is what people need to start doing. There's also a feminist activist, forgive me, I forget her name, but I think she was the one who, the redhead who became famous during the Everett vigils, because she was arrested during the vigils when women were just trying to pay their respects to this a lady who was unfortunately murdered by a police officer. And she's become quite a well-known activist now in the UK for women. And she also recently turned down appearing on GB News because at the end of the day, they're the ones that benefit from having you on. People who are interested in you then watch the shows, and it just benefits them. So this is what people need to start doing more of. I know that some people feel, well, if they go on these shows, then perhaps the people who watch the shows get to hear another opinion. But if you actually watch some of these shows, especially if it's someone like Piers Morgan, someone who's very aggressive. I'm not even going to call them a debater, just speaks very aggressively. They often don't allow you to put forward their point, or they often use just straw man arguments, and it just never goes anywhere. And they literally just bring you on to humiliate you. So I'm so glad more people are turning down going on GB News. I think everybody just needs to say to hell with this channel. They contribute absolutely nothing, and they are currently harboring a predator. And Mr. Hugh Richard here is absolutely right. You're just going to damage your reputation. Sonia, you saw Barbie and loved it. Glad you did. Thank you so much, YM Droid. Yes, it took forever. It's like 33 pages, and it's a full colored guide, by the way. Yes, Rahini, it is an ebook, it's a PDF. So you can read it on like all devices. Lola, you said I've been to Lisbon as well as Setúbal. Yeah, I actually have in the book really good day guide to one of the beaches there. Hi everyone, if you're just joining us, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, please. The next thing, right, the Daily Fail. There's a Meghan called that she has a burner account. What is happening? Give me a sec, folks. Okay, might cut in a sec, but just give me 1 sec because it seems to be playing up. You can see what's on the screen now. Okay, now it's come up. Sorry about that. Can you all hear me okay, by the way? I'm a little bit paranoid about the sound today because my screen is responding very, very slowly. So just let me know that you can hear me okay. You said mic is break. Yeah, I thought so. All right, you can hear me. You're going in and out. Not too bad. All right, we'll carry on and then we'll see how. Okay, you're saying it's okay now. Okay, do let me know if it starts going really bad. Do let me know. So here we have Damson Idris, Damson Idris, who is dating Miss Laurie Harvey, Steve Harvey's daughter. The Daily Fail did an article titled "Could Idris Elba's brother Damson be the next James Bond?" Flurry of bets placed the actor as he is now the second favorite to replace Daniel Craig. Damson Idris and Idris Elba are not related. They don't even have the same second name. It's just one has the first name of the other second name. They're not related. I don't even think they come from the same country. Like, this is the classic, oh, both black, must be related. It reminds me of like when was it the Times that called Tyler Perry a rapper? Do you remember that? Can somebody please tell me when Tyler Perry ever rapped? Maybe once or twice as Medea. And then they actually, after the outrage, changed the title. Now, two things. Either they are absolutely just idiotic twats, or they just did this for outrage marketing. I don't know. Could well be both. But it's not actually the first time they've done this. And it's just embarrassing. I think the BBC also did it, but I can't remember who it was. Anywho, yeah, I just wanted to showcase the Daily Fail being a Daily Fail. Over in Derangerland, y'all, the Derangers are losing it. I think the Derangers are finally realizing that they have been lied to. So, I mean, it's only taken, what, 6 or 7 years? But we're slowly getting there. So, one of the big Deranger accounts tweeted, "Please, can I not be tagged in anything Meghan Markle related? I don't watch any YouTube about them." Are you sure? Because I feel like you're obsessed. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're probably listening to me now. If I hear something breaking and factually, actually, do you know what? I think she might also be referring to the hater channels like Lady C. A lot of Lady C's viewers have been turning against her quite recently. She says, "I'll update myself. I'm sick to the back. I'm sick to the back teeth of speculation, editing of pictures, and sheer lunacy on all sides. All sides? Honey, it's only your side that's loony. What a effing waste of time with this spectacle. And then somebody else says, ditto, I'll follow up when there are facts. Oh, but I thought that Lady C and Dan Wootton and Piers Morgan, I thought they were all giving you facts. I mean, you all have been waiting for Harry and Meghan to lose their titles for how long? Strip them of their titles, they yelled. And then somebody else responded, another deranger, right, how many years now wasted on didn't she? Are they, aren't they? Meanwhile, the bills still need to be paid. So these people are so obsessed with Harry and Meghan, they're barely even concentrating on their jobs. And then Royal Owl saying Sussex fatigue is a real thing. Well, guess what, honey? Nobody is forcing you to pay attention. Do the honorable thing and just admit that you are a fan. You are 100% a fan. This is fan behavior. Boy, the craziness of it all. Thank you so much to YM Droid. Other choices, Craig David, Daniel Craig's brother. Right? Oh my god. I honestly just feel like they did that on purpose because they knew that people would be outraged. Like, outrage marketing is a thing. Thank you so much, Daniel Medical, for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Weird world we live in. Okay. Yeah, Rahini, the derangement must be exhausting. Must be absolutely exhausting. I mean, can you imagine listening to Lady C day in, day out? I mean, one thing I will say about the Sussex squad channels is that if I'm to speculate over something, I will outright say I'm just speculating. I will never state speculation as fact. And I only give like if I'm giving anything as fact, it comes from Harry and Meghan's people directly. Must be a weird life. Yeah, really. Iggy Azalea and Azalea Banks are twins. Oh, must suck to be them. Okay, on to this. Now, this was actually published in 2020, but it's been going around the royal streets again. This is a paper, an academic paper by Kate Mansfield, and it was titled The Architecture of Racism, Sexism and Misogyny, a critical discourse analysis of the representation of Meghan Markle by the British press. So it is a very, very long paper. I think it's over 35,000 words or something, 83 pages. So I am not going to read the whole thing, but I 100% believe that this is worth reading, and I will share the link if you would like to actually bookmark this and read it for yourself at some point. And I had no idea that she'd actually done this paper, and she's made it open for the public to read. Usually you would have to pay to read a paper like this. But I'm just so glad to see this. I hadn't seen it when it first got published. Oh, sound has gone again. Okay, I can only see one person saying the sound is gone. Yeah, it's great that academics and historians are weighing in on this because it shows that it's not just us. It's not just the fans being crazy. It's not just Harry and Meghan being paranoid. It is other people that are now seeing, or rather putting into an academic framework, the treatment of Meghan. And in the end, history is not going to be kind to the royals or the press. And I'm just so glad to see this. So the link is there in the chat. Go have a read. I'm gonna sit down and read it in full at some point. Lightside did actually read it in full, and she sent me some snippets, so I can tell you that it's definitely worth reading. Right, next thing. Before we get onto calls, we're gonna get onto calls now. Okay, the sound might be a little bit better now, but don't worry. I'm gonna stop talking soon and let I say that um okay. Can you all hear me now? Should be able to hear me now. Okay, good. I just wanted to say that it's disappointing that no international press, especially the US, no one said anything. So what? Does Dan Wootton have something on, the people in the UK and the people in the US? Why is no one saying anything? I need an answer to that, because we've got so many victims, so many people have come out and spoken about this now. There has to be someone who is brave enough to come out and say something. The fact that Rupert Murdoch and Jonathan Moffat have mental. But that is enough for me. I'm gonna let you speak now. I'll post the link in. Yeah, H9. It makes the UK look really, really bad. I'll post the link so anybody else who wants to come up can come up. But we will. Valerie, you can go first.
Okay. All right then. I'm starting.
Hey.
Hi, Duchess Anne. How are you?
I'm great. Great to hear from you. Great to hear your voice.
Okay. How do you look? Very lovely. Love your pictures.
Thank you.
Oh my Lord. I'm telling you, this is just absolutely crazy. But then having said so, I was putting in the chat that Dan, all the blogs all over US are talking about Dan Wootton. So even though they don't want to talk about it, it's going to be contending for a long time and they're going to eventually have to get rid of him. They're just trying to wait it out.
Yeah.
And then
I
apparently
think so as
because
well.
him, yeah, and because with the Johnny Depp and he's got a host of the fans, they said it all over the that's what Byron said, all over the blogs all over the US are really going in on him.
But
So
I have noticed though with the few that put on his response to the allegations, or just very kind of like towing a very, Ooh. Okay, I
Hello?
don't think hi, can you hear me? I can hear you now.
Yes, I can. Yes, they
Yeah,
are
go
going in
ahead.
on him. Yeah, they are going in on him. They were talking because I think this guy, I think a lot of them are talking, a lot of British blogs are talking about him. So if the press and if they want to continue and they want to pretend, and then if more people say they're not going to go on they're not going to go on his show because of him, it's going to eventually, I think, because did you hear that the Daily Mail, they're not saying he doesn't write for them, but they're not publishing his articles.
I mean, they haven't officially got rid of him, right?
No, they haven't. But it's all on the quiet. What they want to do is they want to let it lay for a few weeks. And then then you think, but what we have to do, just keep on talking about it. Reading, every time click on people who talk about Dan Wootton. So more and more and more and more until it's staying. And I think January it's going to be explosive because now Harry is going to say his piece in January. Whoa.
Yes. Yeah. I think by the time we get to January, it's just gonna be like
boy.
the gloves are really gonna come off, right?
It's hotting up. So don't worry, Danny boy. Let them continue. It's not gonna work out for them. And they think they know it. It's their last leg. So and then apparently Nadine I think Nadine Dorries, her constituents want her to leave because they say she's not concentrating on them. Say with Lee Anderson, a lot of them are coming for them now and who work for GB News because they say all they want to do is work for GB News. And now they're actively going to get rid of them and throw them out in the next election, before the next election. That's why some of them are standing. When they say they're standing down, because they know that they're going to lose.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Valerie. It's lovely to hear from you.
You're welcome.
Ciao. All right, Rahini.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yep, go right ahead.
Hi, Scotties. How everybody doing?
We're doing great. Great to hear from you.
Oh my goodness. I'm not lying. This Dan Wootton thing has me really, really triggered with what he was doing. It's very upsetting. But there are there's some things that I recognized. I think it was somebody from Novara Media who pointed out that Dan Wootton seemed to rise really quickly to where he is. So, I mean, I don't want to speculate, but it might be that this was his tactic to blackmail and to get information and to put the squeeze on his fellow colleagues. And if that is true, the question that I have for them now is this: why is the entire industry not taking the opportunity right before them to get rid of such a threat to their jobs, to their livelihood, to them being able to function? Because who he was going after his colleagues. Based on the article, if we had to believe what's in the article, he was going after his colleagues. So he's a major threat to every journalist in the industry. And if you are defending him or you're silent, the only question I have for you is what's on your tape? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's on your tape? Right? Because I would think they would jump at this opportunity to get rid of him. It's becoming kind of like a situation with, you remember what was his name, Boris Johnson, where there was another thing and another thing and another thing, and they were waiting till the worst had to happen. And I mean, how much worse can you get than revenge be? Or extortion, because that's what that is, extortion. How worse can you get than that? I don't understand. And if we go even further, we have to ask ourselves what is needed for GB News and these all the other networks to extricate themselves from Dan, because their silence tells me that they have a lot more to lose by getting rid of him. So how exactly do they do it? Because you didn't want to you didn't want to kill the snake before it get too big, and now the dragon is too big for you to slay. So you're just there watching your reputation dwindle. Are you gonna just wait it out and see what happens? But I would like to know your opinion on what exactly do you think? How would they separate themselves? Because I'm not sure they could. Their silence is telling me that they can't. So how could they do it? And then lastly, if he does come out, my question to you is, what do we think he's going to do if they decide to say, okay, we're going to fire you? What do they think he's going to do? Like, how much damage is he going to make with him? So that's those two questions I had for you. I wanted to know your opinion on that.
Well, thank you. Those are two great questions. I think that he obviously has something dark, something major, something very, very damaging. I do believe that the royal family are implicated and other very powerful people are implicated. The question is how, or why rather, did Murdoch and Rothermere allow this to go on for so long?
Exactly.
To the point where now it's like so many people are implicated. That could maybe even tell me that they may have been involved, because how can you let this go on for so long when now you've got this person who's a known predator and you cannot get rid of him?
It's like AIG. He's too big to fail. Dan
Yeah.
Wootton has become AIG. He's so big that even the network execs, because I mean, he's replaceable. I'm pretty sure there are many other people they can replace him with. Even Fox News replaced Tucker Carlson, and he was their money man, right? Tucker, and even him, they were like, nope, bye, and they cut ties with him quick, 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 quick. So how is it that they're protecting Dan? Dan is not even an aristocrat. He's not even British. He's not from their circles. So how is it he was able to get so much information? And it's obvious that he have them. And I mean, what's on your tape? We need to ask every single one. Squad, that's your new homework. Go on everybody's Twitter and ask them, talking about Dan Wootton, what's on your tape? What's
Yeah,
your tape? I was like, I was putting in the chat. I said, I wonder what's on William's tape.
yeah.
I wonder what he was doing on the tape. I wonder what's on on Angela Levin's tape. I'm
I
sorry.
don't want to know. I do not want to know.
Oh my God.
However juicy it is, I don't want to know what's on Angela Levin's
Oh
tape.
my
Please,
God, what's on
nobody
their
tell
tape?
me.
And I feel really bad for these guys, because a lot of men, when they are victims, they don't have the opportunity to speak out, and then people victim shame them. And a victim is a victim
Yeah,
regardless.
of course.
So I guess I want them to know, if they're listening, that I stand with you, and I believe the squad will stand with you.
Yeah, and
And it doesn't matter what you've done in the past. If
yeah,
no means no, and a crime is a crime, I'm very sorry. So
yeah. Absolutely. And I've said this before as well to any victims that are listening. I honestly think that the most powerful thing everyone can do is just all jump at once. Even if we don't like you in this moment in time, we are all united in wanting to bring down Dan Wooten. So we can look the other way just this once. Let's just bring him down first.
yeah. He's just so and is there another byline? No, there's 5. Is there another one? Is there another story?
They said that they don't know how many there will be because obviously victims keep on coming forward. So we'll see.
I don't know. I think we need, oh boy, we need a victim to either go on camera or something. But the
I think
silence is scaring me. The
yeah.
silence is scaring me, because you know, all these conspiracy theories that they have about the elites and what they do, and the Illuminati. They kind of I'm wearing my tinfoil hat here because I think I'm starting to believe it. I really started to believe it, at least in
Well,
England.
yeah.
I,
Well,
I might have a
whatever is
tinfoil hat.
whatever
A
is
little
going on,
scared.
it sure is creepy and scary. But thank you so much, Rahini.
All right. You guys have a good day.
Bye bye. All right, Mina.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go right ahead, hon.
Okay, hey everybody. Whew, well, all I gotta say is ish really hit the fan now. I knew that something like this was gonna happen. I had a feeling, especially when it
Mm-hmm.
came to little man Wootton. And again, I do want to apologize to all of his victims and anybody who he has harmed or caused harm to. Hopefully, they'll have the courage to tell their story and speak out. And if not, then I completely understand. But him, piss moron, and everybody that has done harm to people, and especially to the Sussexes, they getting that karma, and it's coming. It's coming for everybody. And if
Mm-hmm.
I was the GB News, I would fire Dan. I don't care what kind of dirt he has on them. I mean, are you willing to risk your news station for somebody like that? Unless
Yeah.
he has some dirt on everybody at that place.
Hmm.
Like, why not speak out?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question, and it's what everybody wants to know. What does he have on these people? Because ultimately, if the full truth comes out, and if somebody who's involved, who's a very big star, comes forward and says that I'm a victim, this is all going to land back on um Rupert Murdoch and Jonathan Rotham's front door. But thank you so much, Mina.
You're welcome.
Ciao. Why Android? Hello.
Hey, hey, happy Sunday to you, and congrats again on finishing the book.
Thank you.
Man, one, it really is, I think, just so odd, but truly, I think this whole Dan Wootton blow up has brought together very unlikely groups of fans. There are actually some people who are normally in the Deranger camp who are hoping that Dan Wootton goes down because of the tie-in with Johnny Depp. Um,
Mm,
and I know this because I started to get like this rash of hater channels showing up, and I'm like, where is this coming from? And it was
mm,
all about, well, I don't believe anything that Harry and Meghan say, but Dan Wooten is a liar. It's like, okay, so you believe he's a liar only about this thing or everything else except for Harry and Meghan. All right, nice to know you're still delusional, but like, in at least this tiny, tiny, tiny little carve out, they do overlap with saying, yeah, that's not a good guy. It's
mm,
just astounding to me. I think the one that really bothers me the most is kind of the complicity, because it has to be there, or at least it is in my opinion, with the palace. You're a whole king and a whole future king, and the most you can do is take a shady payout to cover up the type of organization that has somebody who operates in blackmail and extortion in order to get his scoops, which are usually not relevant to anything that's really important to anyone else. Knowing that somebody is drunk in a field, knowing who someone slept with, while entertaining, really has nothing to do with heating your home, with being able to afford food, with being able to do any of the other daily things that are becoming difficult for a lot of people in the UK to do. And
mm,
just the prospect of that is enough, like, to keep them in line to the point where they will not exercise any influence, even behind the scenes. Because I get that, oh, unofficially, they don't really have political power. We know that they do. And you mean to tell me
mm,
that this one man is allowed to extort and operate under this path and throw your son, your brother's wife, totally under the bus, really not exercising anything to do with journalism, and you turn a blind eye and have nothing to say about it? To me, let me just say Charles, William are two of the biggest rhymes with witches that I think that I've ever come across. You have this mediocre, ferret-faced little man who is not a real journalist at all, if any of this stuff can be believed. I mean, it just the whole way that they're operating, of not actually doing any digging, any research, like really finding any legit sources to get to any of this. It's just uh open up the checkbook. Even if this thing was legit and he was paying for a source, yeah, just open up the checkbook. Let's cut him a check. He knows something about this story. That's I that's not how real journalism should work. If,
mm,
you have a payroll that extensive that you don't notice that, at regular intervals, all of this money is going missing to pay for one man's personal pee stash because that's how your messed up organization operates, that you can't get a story without regularly cutting people checks in this amount. Oh man, this thing just stinks all around. I really hope that
Yeah.
it goes down. I really hope that and at this point, what are they afraid of? Because if anything does leak, it only serves to confirm exactly the accusations around him. And at that
Mm.
point, there's no way that he gets out of it with anything but maybe a flight back home to New Zealand.
Yeah.
I don't
Indeed.
know. Like I said, just the cowardice of Charles and William, because I know that there's no way that they don't at least had that they've never had a clue about any of this stuff going on. And with Charles, I mean, like at worst, what's on his tape? Inappropriate relations with a horse. We see that like with him trotting his filly out all the time. So nothing to expose there. With Will, well, I think we all have our suspicions. But it again,
Yeah.
to allow it to continue and to say, okay, I'll pay you to not get this out here. I'll leak on my brother to not get this out here. I'll do what you tell me to do in order to not get this out here. Instead of saying, F you, I'm the effing future king of
Yeah.
England. Here's what you're not going to do. I mean, oh, get a spine. What is ugh, sorry.
Well, Harry said they're trapped.
I to some extent I understood Harry's perspective on that, but again, I think at some point we have to acknowledge that the monarchy is not entirely as powerless as they make themselves out to be.
Mm.
Granted, I think for publicity, it's obvious that they have to come across like that because they are not supposed to have more, any top of mind or any visible power in that way. But there is no way that I guarantee you that there are probably super injunctions on super injunctions about a number
Yeah.
of stories about senior members of that family, and that they would not have if it weren't for the fact that they are the monarchs or future monarchs. So I just can't absolve them of, again, like the cowardice and just the depravity in knowing that there is a way for them to exercise their power and put a stop to this, yet they continue to support it. And even if it's
Mm.
taking money from them, even if it's, just exchanging things, whatever it is, that is them supporting it. And to me, it just makes them spineless. It makes them weak. It makes them cowards, and it makes them the biggest grifters to ever do the darn thing, because they still get paid millions and millions and millions of pounds each year in order to do it, and occasionally, I guess, continue to feed into this charade. It is boggling that people in the UK are okay with this and continue to buy into it, but just my opinion.
All right. Thank you so much. It's always fun, Joy.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to finish off with our last guest, Mary, and then we'll wrap it up. Hey, Mary.
Hi, Duchess of Sussex.
How are
Um,
you?
fine. I just wanted to say that when I heard, I don't like saying her name, but I'm gonna have to say it for the first and last time on this thing. Kenzie Schofield s- s- um went on GP News and said this. Listen to this. I got from this man that writes blind items on social media that Bill Simmons
that Harry is just doing drugs and stuff like that, and he's lading about that it's Meghan that is controlling everything. I'm like, and
Yeah,
he
but I
said,
mean, that's just the same things that like they always say. I mean, I like I think that was what a couple of days ago. If you notice, I didn't even cover that because it's just not worth like paying. Like I think there's just some things that just aren't worth paying attention to because they are just so ridiculous. And I think even Omid tweeted about this, saying, "Oh, you know, somebody can go on for like go on TV for like £50 and say things like that." Yeah, like I just there's a reason why I didn't mention it on the podcast because it's just like the same old things that they always say, and some things just aren't worth repeating. But like we
then
know that we have trolls.
then then this Dan Wootton stuff over and over again. I think because Dan Wootton is the kind of person that would bully you and bully you. Not Meghan and Harry, but well, Lily Allen and what is her name? Alexander Burke.
Hmm.
Has come out and said something about him as well.
Yeah, in the past, she talked about him and the way that he bullied her, and how she you know what she went through. I actually posted a video about it, but we know that he has a like a long history of going after women and bullying women and well, just bullying people in general. It's how he's gotten to where he's gotten, and it's yeah, it's very unfortunate. But hopefully, we're getting closer and closer to holding him accountable. But thank you so much
And
as always, Mary.
yeah,
Thank you so much. Right, I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you everyone for calling in. Sorry we had a little bit with the sound issues. I might actually be moving to another apartment very soon, so hopefully that shouldn't be an issue when I move. And I did double check with the lady. I was like, do an internet check, please. I don't want to move anywhere with a shaky internet. Oh gosh. Let's just see. Oh, Alan, thank you so much for super chat. You said IMO, I think Boo Boo has something on one of the Murdochs. That's why nothing is happening. Oh, who knows? I mean, he clearly got some things on people in Murdoch's camp, and he may well have things on people in Rothman's camp, and he definitely, I think, has something on the Royals. So we'll just see. We'll just see. Like this is clearly going to have a rather dramatic ending, however it ends. Okay, and I'm gonna end it there. Just a reminder, yes, my Lisbon travel guide is out. So if you're thinking of traveling, please go check it out. I think for the next podcast, like I'll do a 10% discount code or something for you guys. But I'm wishing everyone enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And I will see you back here tomorrow. Thank you to Leisha. Before we go, Leisha C, thank you for the free coffees. Much, much appreciated. All right. Okay, folks. Ciao.
Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Yeah, you know know I'm back like black tracksuit with a black top cap. People love to try, people love to lie. People forget, stop, remember that. We done them good, do you remember that? We needed someone, here's the facts. But people love to try, people love to lie. Yeah, this is London, mind the gap. Living life just multitasking. Smile like a horror movie, I'm laughing. Motivated and focused, crafting. Dash something in a break, all your eggs in a basket. Can't handle it, why you asking? Can't handle it, why you asking? Can't handle it, why you asking? Please don't try it. Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Tryna impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Tryna impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Yeah, you know I'm right. Vibes are here when I am outside. Born for the flows to keep the flows tight. Told me why they love to lie. Soul is dark but the mind is bright. Nocturnal, we live for the night. You wanna try but yeah, not quite. Monster with the bars, yeah, I might bite. If I have to, I tighten up the mic. See me, I don't do it for the likes. Keep it Air Max, yeah, like my knives. Ooh, I like to plan before I strike. But what do they know? Frequency's high, it never gets low. But yeah, what do they know? You're dripping in warm up from head to toe. Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Tryna impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Tryna impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please